Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. Alan Slaughterzinski with you here tonight with a video link one-on-one interview with a pretty special student athlete, great guy, had a heck of a season for the Cocoa Beach Minutemen. Of course, it was a record-setting season for Cocoa Beach, especially that defense, and that's what he's a big part of. This young man had 89 tackles this year, a sack, 4 fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and was a part of a Cocoa Beach Minutemen defense that pitched not just 1, not 2, not even 3, but how about 4 shutouts in a row, a program record. Please help me welcome here to Brevard Sports Network tonight, Cocoa Beach Minutemen senior, Mr. Mason Bryant. And Mason, welcome to Brevard Sports Network.
Thank you for having me, Alan. It's great to be on.
All right, so normally what we do on Brevard Sports Network is we put up these commitment posts and we tell all about the student athlete. And you have an unusual commitment, or at least you took a different route. I wouldn't say unusual, it's not the right word, a different route to committing. And I love it. I think it's a spectacular idea. And you wanted to make sure that student athletes were aware out there, especially with how hard recruiting is, with the way the transfer portal is. Nothing that happens in NCAA athletic recruiting benefits the high school student athlete anymore. Nothing. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But you have found something that I think is going to really catch on here. Mason, first tell us where you committed to.
I will be continuing my academic and athletic career at the Apprentice School at the Newport News Shipbuilding Company in Newport News, Virginia.
Now, tell us about this. Tell us exactly what the Apprentice School is. What is this?
So it's technically just it's a job with the shipbuilding company where you are an apprentice. You work under one of their hundreds of journeymen and their different trades, and you build the Navy's best warships to defend our country. So you're getting paid to work, but you're also going to school, and you're also getting an associate's degree, just a basic associate's degree, but you're getting paid to go to school, to work at the shipyard, and to play your sport.
Now, there's the interesting part of it. I'm looking at a post here on the page that is amazing because they have an entire host of athletics. And football is one of those sports. So you get to go play college football for the Apprentice School. And, this beats the heck out of any NIL deal. Tell us about how cool this is and how you found out about this school.
Oh, this is amazing. I found out actually from my dad. He works up at the Cape launching rockets, and one of his coworkers went to Space Coast High School and actually played basketball at the Apprentice School. And, this was during the time where, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with my recruitment because, transfer portal killed everybody.
Right.
The D1 or bust mentality is dead. It's really hard. It is a grind to get recruited these days with the way the transfer portal has hurt us high school athletes. So we were just, at a crossroads. We're like, well, what do we do? No one's coming for me. It doesn't feel like, any opportunity really fits what I want. And then this came, and it was like it checked every box. I got something that I was really interested in. I wasn't going to be bored. It was exciting. I got to go see somewhere new. I got to be close to the beach, which was a big part of what I wanted. And I got to play football, which was the main thing. And so it was a no-brainer. I reached out to a couple coaches about it. I applied, and, I just went through the normal process of a regular college person, just applying. No one was really, no one reached out to me. It was I reached out to them, and they liked what they saw, so they continued on. And then we ended up here 2 months later. Committed to the school.
I think it's fantastic, and congratulations on this. And listen, look, I mean, this is going to be a great career for you. Based on my research of this, when Caleb approached me with this the other day, I'd started to do my research on shipbuilders in this country, and the average salary starting 72,000 to 95,000 into the $120,000-$130,000 range. So and you're a young guy, you're a big guy, you're a strong guy. So this is certainly something that you're going to have a career at and do extremely well at.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like I didn't want to be stuck behind an office desk for the rest of my life. I wanted to be able to do something with my hands and something that mattered. And what better way than to go and build, the United States' biggest and best ships in the world.
This is a pretty good football team too. 9-1 last year. Coach was named small college coach of the year. Played in a bowl game. So listen, you're going in as a freshman. You're going to get some playing time. They got some ballers on this team.
I don't know. That hasn't been discussed. I'm kind of just. I've never taken the easy road, so I'm kind of just waiting to see what God does with it. If I play, I play. If I get redshirt, I get redshirt, and it's just more time for me to get good at my job and get better at football.
Mason,
against college athletes, speed.
I love your attitude, and I got to tell you, I think that more student athletes had your attitude. The transfer portal, while the problem is going to exist, it wouldn't be as problematic as it is right now. I think you have taken an issue, you have found an alternative solution, and are extremely happy with it. And I couldn't commend you more for your decision. I want to ask you about your football team this year because you guys were a lot of fun to watch on social media. Wish we could have got over there to broadcast a game, but we certainly did follow you guys very, very closely. 6-3 this year. What was it about that team this year as opposed to last year? What was the big difference from last year to this year for this team's success?
I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say, it wasn't the kids that came in. Me, Alan Bailey, Logan Sylvia, Brennan Burke, JJ Leachy, we all came in and it was kind of like, no one was doing it. No one wanted to come to Cocoa Beach. And it was like, okay, well, let's do something different and let's turn this place around. Let's make this a place where kids want to come, kids want to play at their school. Let's instill pride back into this football team because it used to be such a great program. They were in the newspaper every week 12 years ago. They were good. They were 8-2, I think. And so let's just make it that way again. And that was kind of the mentality of let's just build back the beach. And that became kind of the slogan, the jump on board. And so with that, we just started winning games. We just kind of put our heads down and just started going to work.
I got to ask you because you have one of my favorite coaches, not just in high school football, but in all of coaching. I absolutely am a tremendous fan of Ben Waldrop. I love Coach Amato as well. I don't know a lot of the other coaches over there, Coach Schnars, but tell me about playing for Ben Waldrop. He is a teacher, a mentor. He's an intense coach. He knows what it takes to get to the next level and be successful at it. Tell me about what you learned from Coach Waldrop.
I just learned a lot about, kind of being a leader. I came in from Satellite kind of as a raw kid. And, I had the talent, but I just didn't know how to be a leader. And I think just having his guidance allowed me to kind of learn how to lead kids that may not be as intense as me or may not have the same goals in mind, but kind of rally them in order to achieve what we all want to achieve, which is to win.
It was an incredible season for you guys again, and you go through that remarkable stretch, 56-0 over Berean Christian, 49-0 over Taylor, 34-0 over Halifax Academy. Once you pitch that 35-0 win over Cornerstone Charter Academy, that's 4 shutouts in a row and a program record. Take me through that evening of celebration. How happy were you guys?
Well, I was beyond ecstatic because if I'm sure you saw, but Space Coast Day, Florida Today had it. That was the first touchdown I had ever scored.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
that was a really special night for me. Not just the fact that we pitched, four straight shutouts in a row, which I hadn't even done, and I was a part of a really talented stacked defense at Satellite the year before. It was the fact that I was already really high that night on the fact that I had already scored. So it was a really special night. I remember the locker room was crazy after the game. The night afterwards at homecoming was just crazy. They always say it's like your game Friday night will make or break that homecoming dance, and I think that is very true after seeing how that dance was the night after.
It is
So
true. Yeah, it is true. I mean, you had in some of the bigger games this year, you had 10 tackles against Marine Christian, 9 against Taylor. So you had some big games this year. By the way, aside from the sack, he had 9 hurries this year as well. 2 fumble recoveries, 3 calls fumbles, the touchdown that he just told you about. One or two more for you here. Mason, what advice do you have to the frustrated student athlete right now that's a senior or even a junior that's not getting recruited? What do you tell them?
pound the pavement. Get on your Twitter. Keep going. It's not gonna get easier. It really doesn't get easier, and I feel like in the years coming, it's gonna get harder and harder for us to get offers. So don't be afraid to text coaches. Be in their DMs. Be replying to guys' tweets. Follow everybody you can. Don't close any door because you think you're too good for it or you're not good enough. If a coach wants you, they will get you. But sometimes you just got to put yourself out there.
I look at this transfer portal every day. Part of my daily regiment, like reading newspapers from around the country, sports sections from around the country, and it sickens me to see the number of kids. Now, I will say this: the NCAA did recently institute a policy in which non-graduates could only transfer once, and then that was it. So I don't know if that does anything, but certainly these student athletes that are on their fourth school in 3 or third school in 3 years, that's the kind of stuff that's got to stop. What would you tell somebody who may be interested in taking your route? Do you know of any other apprentice type schools out there like the one you're at, or is the apprentice school it?
I think there's a couple, but I'm not sure. But this school it's a smaller school, but it's still relatively unheard of, and I'm the only kid on the roster right now from Florida. So kids in this county, if you want to come on, join us. It's a great place. The coaches are amazing. Newport News is beautiful. I'm actually flying up there this weekend to see it because I've seen pictures and it blows my mind every time. It's such a beautiful place, and it's a great place to live. It's a great team to be a part of. It's a great school. I mean, how can you say no to no debt, getting paid, and getting a career out of it? That's something you just can't say no to.
No, and you're right. Newport News and that whole entire Virginia Beach area is absolutely beautiful. I love it up there as a guy that's from Maryland. Plus, if you've never had an opportunity to drive through have you been through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel yet?
No, I have not. I have to do it
Okay.
when I'm up there.
Yeah, it's a $30 toll, by the way, but it's well worth it. I think I don't. It's a bridge that goes across the Chesapeake Bay, obviously, but it goes over top the bay. It goes under the bay. It's an incredible experience. I certainly recommend it. Mason, as we get set to wrap up here, what's next for you? What you finish out the year? When will you be officially heading to the apprentice school?
I think my moving date is set for early July, and so I'll be down here for June. I'll probably be helping out with some Cocoa Beach youth camps, probably some other youth camps around town. I'll be coaching Zone 6 Reapers 8U until I leave, until our season's over, whichever comes first. And then I'll just go up there, build some shifts, and play some football.
Tell me about the Zone 6 Reapers, man, because I'm wearing the shirt. You see that? I knew you played on them. I got the Zone 6 shirt on. Tell me about
Feels good.
Yeah, tell me about the Reapers, man.
So I actually played in our last tournament, but um, I felt that after that I needed to stop because I had just committed and I
You're
didn't want to
right.
risk getting hurt and anything
Yeah.
like that. That I feel like that wasn't smart. So after the last tournament, we stopped. Our 18U, we did amazing that tournament. That was the longest, that was the farthest we had gone in a tournament. We went to the quarterfinals. Sadly, we lost to our crosstown rivals, Island Elite. They're a great program. They've got a lot of great guys. They're coached well. I've got nothing to complain about that. We just got to get better. But it's great to see how far that organization, because I can remember 3 years ago me, Ben Morrow, and Akai Jones just sitting around and just be like, we need to start this is something that we want to get going for the kids at Satellite. We deserve to have something like this.
You do.
And now 3 years later to see we've got all these different age groups, we've got the numbers to compete with some of the top teams in the country. It goes to speak to what Coach Jones does over there, taking control of it and just keeping it going, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I do too. I love Louverture, Coach Louverture Jones, and it's great to see this program develop exactly as, I mean, you said it perfectly. Well, Mason, congratulations, man. We're going to be following your progress. You've got my number. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to me for anything, because I'll be reaching out to you to get updates on your progress up there. We love to check in. I don't know if you've ever seen our post about how our Brevard's college football players doing, but we'll be checking in on you, and appreciate you taking the time today to speak with us here on Brevard Sports Network, my friend.
All right, thank you, Alan, for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to thank Mason Bryant. So for Mason Bryant, well, you know what, real quick before I go, let me just say this. This is a young man that didn't bury his head in the sand, no pun intended, because he lives over in Cocoa Beach, but he didn't bury his head in the sand and say, you know what, I'm just going to go to community college for 2 years. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there's not. But he wanted to play football, and you can't do that at Eastern Florida State. So he found another way to do that. And I'm telling you right now, pretty smart what Mason Bryant went and did. And there are a few more people in this county I think that this could be a very viable option for. So thanks to Mason Bryant. And have a great, so for Mason Bryant, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.